Hello, BookTube. I thought we'd do some more vinyl. If you can see right there, that's where these go. And these are old albums. And a lot like picture albums. They're bound like a book. And they were meant to hold records, recordings. This one has, they're both the same. And you would buy them. Here, let me show you what the inside look. There, you see that? So these things are heavy because these are 78s and they're solid. So it would look like this. It would be a sleeve. And you put the record in there as you collect it. Now we'll see that over time we go to what we think of as regular album covers. But these are the original albums. And these are, like I say, they're old. They're 78s. Very hard, solid. They feel quite a bit different than later ones. So this is an RCA Victor Red Seal, Black Eyes by Fyodor Chaliapin, who's a bass, with the Aerosoft Choir and the Balalaika Orchestra, excuse me, and this was recorded in Europe. There are no dates on these. I suppose you could find out. And the opposite side, the side B, is The Prisoner with Rubinstein, and that's Chaliapin again. And then piano accompanied by Gene Basilevsky, and also recorded in Europe. That's the first one. The second one has the RCA Victor as the dog. And this one says disc gramophone, made in France. The Prince, Igor, How Goes It, Prince? These are hard to read. It's Chaliapin is the bass again. And then on the opposite side we have Sadko, Song of the Viking Guest. And then the song is by Rimsky-Korsakov, and another Chaliapin is the bass. And it's under direction of Collingwood. Then moving along here, the next one, RCA Victor Boris Godunov, I Am Suffocating. That's side A with Chaliapin as the bass, right there. And then side B is Boris Godunov, I Have Attained the Highest Power, Monologue of Boris. And that's Chaliapin as the bass again. And these are all in perfect condition. This is an RCA Victor, Boris Godunov, Prayer of Boris, Mussorgsky, and Rimsky-Korsakov, Act 4. The Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, July 4th, 1928, with Chaliapin as Boris. The conductor is Vincenzo Bellezza. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And then side B is Boris Godunov, The Death of Boris, Mussorgsky, Rimsky-Korsakov, Act 4, played during the actual performance at Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, London on July 4th, 1928. Again, Chaliapin. So, we know when that one occurred. Then another RCA Victor is the Song of the Volga Boatmen. This is Fyodor Chaliapin, and you can see something interesting here. It's dug in. I don't know if it was dug in by who. It looks hand done. It says Fyodor Chaliapin, February 6, 1936, Tokyo. And I'm really not sure. Oh, maybe I can. If I can get it just to show there. So I don't know why that's like that. If he signed it or what it is. Who knows? If anybody out there has any idea what that is, please let me know. Side B is Chaliapin and the Song of the Flea by Goethe and Mussorgsky. And next I have let's see here. This is side. It's an Italian. The Master's Voice. Recitative La Affaire Honor Signore. The Stain Upon My Honor. The aria. It says. It's from Hernani by Verdi, and it's Boris Christoph, who's the bass. And it's the Philharmonic Orchestra under Anatole Fistolari. It's another 78 here. And then the next side, side B, is Cavatina and Boris Christoph again. Sometimes these are a little hard to see because the print is really small. And this one here is I Have Attained the Highest Power of Boris Godunov, Mussorgsky, Rimsky-Korsakov. Boris Christoph is the bass, and the Philharmonic Orchestra is Issei Dobrowan. And then on side B, we have a continuation, same from Boris Godunov. Now this is another one of these. This is Victor, RCA, Red Seal. This is Meistersinger, the prize song, obviously Wagner. It's from Act 3 with Richard Cook's tenor and orchestra. And then side B is Lohengrin. It's his Narrative in Distant Lands by Richard Crooks and with tenor and orchestra. And these things are heavy. They're solid. They feel a little different than when you get the LPs later. And then this is Holy at City by Adams, Richard Crooks tenor. The orchestra is conducted by John Baraboli. Organ accompanied by Herbert Dawson. Recorded in Europe. I don't really see a date. And then on the other side is the Star of Bethlehem, Adams, Richard Cook's tenor, the same information. And then we have, let's see, on side A here, Gounod's Faust, Giuseppe De Luca is a baritone, and then we have Verdi's La Traviata Act 2, and it's Thy Home in Fair Provence, the Giuseppe De Luca baritone. On the Metropolitan Opera House Orchestra, Guello Setti. Again, no date. We've seen a couple times that they do sometimes give dates. And it might be easy to look up. I don't know if I've ever tried. So, let's see. Aliesta Riendo, La Vida Breva, Fernandez Shaw and Fala, Victoria de Los Angeles is the soprano. And then on this side, the same thing. Conducted by Stanford Robinson. Again, I don't see a date. And finally, out of this album, this is Cetra is the album manufacturer. This is from Werder, and a little hard to read. The director is Ugo Transini. Let's see on this side if it's a little better. La Gioconda, okay. And the orchestra is directed by Ugo Transini again. So that's that first album. Big solid thing. And the next is the same idea. They've got these little rings to pull. I don't know if you can see that. I don't really do that anymore. I'm afraid I'll break them out. So here, RCA Red Seal, Puccini's La Tosca, and the soprano is Lucia Albanese, and Weisserman's the conductor. And on the opposite side, the B side, we have Puccini, and it's Lucia Albanese again. Moving right along. RCA Victor, My Old Kentucky Home. Stephen Foster, obviously. And this is the contraltos, Marian Anderson, with the Victor Symphony Orchestra under Charles O'Connor. And then on the opposite side was Carry Me Back to Old Virginia by Marian Anderson also. Oh, a little American there. Then we have Schubert's Der Doppelganger, Marian Anderson contralto, and Schubert's Der Jüngling und der Tod, Marian Anderson. I hope I'm not butchering the pronunciation. If I am, forgive me. Moving along here is Placia d'Amour by Martini, Marian Anderson, and O Don Fatale from Don Carlos by Verdi, another Marian Anderson. Then we have Dido and Aeneas, Act 3, Marian Anderson. Let's see here. And Scarlatti Se Florinda e Fedele by Marian Anderson. We have Richard Strauss, Befreit, Opus 39, number 4, Marian Anderson, and Richard Strauss Morgan, Opus 27, number 4, Marian Anderson. Next is Der Nussbaum, The Nut Tree by Schumann, Marian Anderson, and The May Night by Brahms, Marian Anderson. Then we have Ave Maria, Franz Schubert by Marian Anderson, sung by Marian Anderson. And then My Abode, Franz Schubert by sang by Marian Anderson, or sung by Marian Anderson. So a lot of Marian Anderson. This is somebody else's collection. I just bought it all together. So then we have Samson and Delilah by Saint-Saëns, Marian Anderson, and then Samson Delilah Act 2, Love Come Aid My Weakness, Saint-Saëns, Marian Anderson. We got a London recording, which is different. We've got mostly RCA. We have The Death of Boris Part 1, Boris Godunov by Mussorgsky, and the London Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Joseph Cripps. And then we have Death of Boris, Conclusion, from Mussorgsky's Boris Godunov. And Raphael Ari is the bass on that. And we have an old deck. Oh, did I show you that? Because it does look a little different. It's London. And then here we have an old Decca. And it looks like this. So here we go. Side 1 is, oh my gosh, is that hard to read. See if I can read on the other side. Konchak's aria. One side was the beginning, this side's the conclusion. Raphael Ari again. The Orchestra de la Suisse Romande, conducted by Isidore Carr. So that's. And then we have yet another label. This is a Columbia Masterworks. So these are sung in Italian. They are Pieta Signora Me from, and then Madamina. These are from Don Giovanni by Mozart. And then Salvatore Baccaloni is the Basso Buffo with orchestra conducted by Eric Leinsdorf. And then the other side is more from Don Giovanni and the same. So you'll see that, see if I can get this so you can see it. So this is Columbia. So that was just to show some of the 78s that I've got in albums. I do have a record player that plays 78s, and I will play them sometimes. The sound quality, the records are good. I mean, they're giving you the quality that they produced at the time. They well cared for LPs will last an awful long time, and records will. So that's it. Thank you, BookTube.